Hi guys, this is Vaul, and I'm going to be doing a commentary on a game that features myself, as Eldar of course, up against an Ork player, and this game is on Vortex Plateau, so that's the map, and it is a game that I found via Automatch, which is the system on the online GameSpy server where you click the button and it looks for an opponent and it gives you an anonymous opponent. It's very similar to the Warcraft 3 auto matchmaking system. And I've actually been having a lot of trouble with Automatch, not really winning that many games because that's usually where all the really experienced Dawn of War players actually find their matches. But I've been getting a bit better at this game, and I've managed to face this guy, and I eventually win this game. I know it's not very interesting to watch games where I'm commentating myself, because you guys know that I'm only going to post a game where I win. The reason why I do that is because I don't really want to commentate in a game where I make heaps of mistakes and play poorly. I want to sort of talk about what I'm doing right, and there are still going to be a few things that I've done wrong. So just taking a quick look at what's going on here. He's Ork down at the 6 o'clock and I'm at the 12 o'clock position, of course. And notice his first squad of Slugger boys skipped the strategic point nearby and went straight for one of the outlying ones. That's always an interesting move. It means you get your strategic point requisition a little bit more slowly, but on the other hand, you can secure the outlying points with listening posts a lot quicker. I've gone for Rangers here. I'm not upgrading Ranger Stealth because I expect them to charge me with lots of sluggers and a Big Mac very shortly, so I've decided just to leave one point at the back of my base for the Rangers to capture on their own, and going for a Farseer immediately afterwards. Now this is the first commentary that I'm going to be doing on the new patch. Soulstorm has been patched, so if anybody's thinking of buying Dawn of War Soulstorm, now wouldn't be a bad time to do it because it's been patched, the major bugs have been fixed, and the community should be able to work on a version of the game called Soulstorm Pro now, which is basically like using the map editor to fix a lot of the game imbalances with the community, and that always turns out to be much better than what the developers decide to do. So if you're looking at buying this game because it looks fun, and it is fun, recommend it. Anyway, he's got a group of shooters, and he's finally headed over to actually attack me. I've put up a post before he could decapture it. I've got the Farseer heading down. The patch has made the Farseer slightly cheaper, so you can actually get a Farseer more cost effectively now, which is cool. I've got a Ranger squad heading down through the causeway in the middle, but having to run away because there's Big Macs right there, and I'll be upgrading a listening post to level 2 and nearby so that I can actually defend this. So Eldar vs Ork, always a little bit tough for the Eldar at the beginning, so I've really anticipated that and just tried to gear my strategy around stopping his big push with lots of mobs of Orks. So there you got the Rangers sniping away at this main Slugger squad led by the Big Mac, just staying out of combat. And what I've decided to do here is get Banshees, which are a bit of a rarer unit, but they are useful, and they have been patched as well to make them slightly more cost effective. And even so, even before the patch, they were decent against Ork in the early game, up against harassment. So instead of getting a squad of Dark Reapers which just have to run around everywhere, this time I can actually tie up his squads with a group of combat warriors here, and we'll see how this goes. So putting the Rangers on fleet of foot, leaving fleet of foot off on everybody else, getting their Farseer right in the thick of it, and just making sure the fight happens right next to the listening post. So I've got a bit of plasma firing away at everybody. He's got a good squad of shooter boys in the background here, just in the foreground of the video, doing a good job laying down the firepower here, and I'm going to be trying to do the same with my Rangers, but he's really focusing on them with his Big Mac, so time to weaken the Big Mac a bit with Mind War. He's really low on health at this point, so at this point I may be able to force him away. I've got the Banshees, which are tying up the Sluggers, not ideal, so breaking them away and trying to also tie up the Slugger boys. Now, I've got a second squad of Banshees being built here, which I think is the first mistake of the game for me. I didn't need that second squad, and experienced players will probably frown on me for doing that. It's not a very good idea to just overdo it on troops when you don't need to, because it slows down your technology, it slows down the rate where you can actually get listening posts and upgrade the global bonuses to requisition and power. So I shouldn't have done that. As you can see, I'm actually overwatching both Banshee squads. It's really eating into my resources. The only reason I did this is I was a bit paranoid. I was just worried that maybe I was facing a better player, and I was going to be swamped by mobs, and I wouldn't be able to stop it. Range is a bit slow there, so I'm just having to fleet of foot them and bring them back to the combat. So yeah, if I play this matchup again, what I'm going to do is just beat his fight off with just one Banshee squad and then go immediately into either a Dark Reaper squad or attacking up to Soulstorm. Banshees actually become a really good unit after you've upgraded them with the Call of War research, which has been buffed a little bit with a patch to make it a little bit quicker, which is cool. Getting a little bit too close to a space here for comfort, so making sure everybody's got fleet of foot and then immediately running back through the middle causeway. Luckily, during this period of fighting, my Guardians have been able to stay alive and have headed around the map a little bit to capture points. We've got listening points going up over here at the west. The Guardians are actually down here, if you can see them behind the cliff, capturing that critical objective. They've already got the relic closer to my base, so things are looking pretty good. I'm just getting a nice shot in here with the moon in the background, pretty cool. Quite like this tile set, it's very Martian, but I didn't really pick the right colour scheme for it. I've got my blood red Eldar style here. I've also got the golden one that you've seen in previous commentaries. But yeah, Automatch, by the way, picks the map for you, kind of like the Warcraft 3 Automatch does. And I didn't choose this map, but I have heard that it's a pretty decent map for Eldar, and I probably wouldn't disagree with that. So again, with my huge mob of double Banshees, trying to prevent him from doing any further damage over here, and he's got his big mech a bit isolated here, so I'm just cutting him off. He's wisely teleported away before I could do too much damage, but I have taken out his big mech, so that's a bit of a cause for celebration there. Mind War finally has got the better of him, forcing the Ork Player to rebuild it now, if he does. I think he does need to. Got the Guardians heading around the eastern side. They'll be ready to take a critical objective. And game is actually heading in a pretty good way for me here, but despite that, remember I have gone for double Banshees and I still haven't started on my Soul Shrine yet, which is something that I will need. If the Ork Player ends up out-teching me, I could be dealing with stuff like mass vehicles, flash skits, the likes, and that's the way a really good Ork Player would be beating me right now. And this guy hasn't quite teched up just yet. He's got leaders for his squads. You can see the big knob leading it. He's probably on his way to taking to something pretty nasty right now, but we'll have to see. For the meantime, I've definitely got the military advantage, because every time he attacks, I can just get my Banshees stuck in, and the Banshees are just really good at fighting the Orks until the Orks get much better combat units. If you've got a lot of knobs with power claws, I think they'll be able to do the job, but for now things are fine. And mind you, once he's got knobs with power claws, I should be able to get Call of War research after I've got the Soul Shrine up. Heading his big mech, which has been freshly rebuilt, back to the back of my lines, just pinching the Ranger squad there. I'm having to retreat because I don't want to get too far up the hill where his static defense is. In the meantime, he's actually attacking my Guardians with a couple of Orks here over at the critical objective. The Guardians are almost finished taking that point, so I'm just finishing them off before running away. What I'm actually doing right now, as you guys won't be able to see, is building a squad of Dark Reapers from my my aspect pole. So again, still focusing on troops. I'm still in tier 1. I've got a decent economy at this point, but the major mistake of this game is for me teching too slowly, and hopefully I won't make that mistake next game. Good player will be punishing me, but I've said that already. Time for another fight. Really enjoying these fights here. Banshees just make it so much easier. They're a much easier unit to micromanagement than Dark Reapers, when you're sort of forced to run away from the combat all the time with Dark Reapers. With Banshees, just attack, move, take fleet of foot off if necessary, and there you go. Weakening the big mech again with Mind War. I just want to keep that. Really got to make the most use out of the Farseer with Mind War. One unfortunate thing about this strategy is that because I haven't, because I got that second squad of Banshees instead of that Dark Reaper squad, I have got it now, but I can't really use guide as very much. I can't really guide the Rangers, it doesn't really work.